Hey guys, it's Paradise, and we know many of you guys love the discussions that we used to do on the channel, so at least in some form here, we're bringing them back. Now this is a longer discussion, so we can't use our limited 20 minutes of gameplay here. Instead, we'll be adding in a variety of different things from the dev streams, the trailers, and all that good stuff, so there'll be some cool Monster Hunter goodness throughout. In this one, we have another amazing Monster Hunter creator join us, TDS Chris, and although we do primarily focus on Monster Hunter Wilds, we also dive into other topics around Gamescom and various creator insights. So think of this more like creators on creators instead of a pure Monster Hunter Wilds chat, but we do talk a lot of Wilds throughout this discussion. So check out Chris if you want to see his channel linked down below, and tell us what creator do you think we should have one of these chats with next. So here is our post-Gamescom discussion with TDS Chris. Hey guys, it's Paradise, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going back to our discussions, and we've been lucky enough to be joined by TDS Chris himself, who, if you've been living under a rock in the Monster Hunter space, is one of the coolest channels to watch some of the fanciest gameplay clips, takedowns, speedruns too, like all kinds of cool stuff. One of my personal favorites is the size of the monsters that go, as you go through all the monsters. I love that one.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So yeah, we've just come back from Gamescom. We literally just got back the other day. It's been a mad week, a mad busy week. You guys may have seen all the Monster Hunter news coming out. That was obviously our main focus being there. I'm pretty sure that might have been your main focus there, Chris, as well, since you're like massively known for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that was the only reason why we went. We just literally waited for Capcom to give the information out that there will be something at Gamescom and immediately booked the tickets. Yeah.
That was like the same for us, really, like because we weren't really planning on going unless Monster Hunter would be there. So it was our biggest draw as well. We'll go around, we'll have a little chat about the Gamescom experience, we'll talk about Monster Hunter, maybe some of the weapons we got to try, all that good stuff. I'll just kick it off and say, it was busy. Like I wasn't ready for how busy it was. So our last Gamescom was 5 years ago, which was the Iceborne Gamescom with the big Volcana statue. Oh yeah, the big Volcana statue was really cool. That was busy, but am I crazy or was this one like next level busy?
It was massive. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember Gamescom being that big as well in terms of the amount of halls. We were discovering new places that we've never been before, and just like so many different stands as well. So it's just gotten massive over the years, and going back there and just the Monster Hunter queue as well. The interest in Wilds is crazy. As soon as the line opened, it was like full 8-hour queue. So if you didn't get there early enough, you were not getting on Wilds as well. So it's actually crazy.
Yeah. If you compare it with Iceborne 5 years ago, you can definitely tell that the World and Iceborne and Rise as well, I think, just brought the series to a whole different level of mainstream. And now so many people like want to get on that hype train because they know the hype could be huge. And so many creators and like media is interested in the game. And like Capcom, they're expecting so much from Wilds. They have huge expectations, and you can tell they are spending big time on like this huge stage. You could see down the entire big entertainment hall there. Like it was pretty impressive what they had. The big sacred.
I've been pulled up on this multiple times now, so I think I'll never be allowed to say it wrong again. It's sacred.
Okay. Yeah.
People hate the mispronunciations. I don't know. I say things wrong all the time. But yeah, the booth was massive, and you were even on the stage at one point, right? We caught a bit of it just as you were kind of like finishing up and then going off. But yeah, so what was going on there?
In my case, it's of course because I speak German, so that's why they wanted me to be on stage, because on stage it was mostly German coverage with Capcom Germany, and it was pretty cool. At the beginning, I was a bit confused because I hadn't played so much, and then I had like a challenge against another guy going on. And well, it was pretty rough, and I lost at the end. But I mean, at least I killed the monster. I lost in terms of points because the guy was like he was like finding the nitro shrooms and all that kind of stuff.
What?
I don't know where these grow, man. Yeah. But at least I killed the monster there. So, but I ended up losing. But he played really well. So
nice.
It was good. And then afterwards we had a quiz, and that was really fun. It was 3 of us on stage. And they asked us a bunch of different questions. We had to buzz if we knew it.
Yeah.
And the first
Yeah,
one
yeah, we
was,
saw the
was able-
buzzers. Yeah.
yeah. And then some questions were with the whiteboard, so we had to draw something on it, or like guess, or like a number or something like that. They asked us which monsters are the biggest and smallest. Of course, I knew.
My gosh.
Yeah, and I ended up hitting second place there. Actually, because one question that was 3 points, really valuable question. They asked, which monster are we describing? It has claws, it has horns, and it has regrowing plates. And I was like, wait, regrowing? It has to be Nergigante. But then they said plates, and I was like, are those plates? That's spikes,
Yeah,
right?
spikes,
Nergigante has
yeah.
spikes. So I was like, no, I didn't buzz. And the other guy buzzed, was like, Nergigante. Correct. 3 points.
No way.
debated.
Crazy.
And I lost. I was
gosh,
second place, so
fixed.
it's fine. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Well, am I wrong? But were those quizzes, the reward was like the little punch sheet, like a little punch
Yo,
sheet,
I
right?
wanted to ask you guys. You guys provided those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We're
Oh,
so
that's
We
happy
didn't
to
know,
see
we didn't
so
know
them.
that they would be
sick.
used explicitly for like on the stage and for giveaways. But when we saw them there, we're like, oh, that's what they, because we sent them over
Yeah.
like loads. So that
Yeah,
was
that's
pretty
so
cool.
sick. Yeah. So I'm happy you guys got to, connect on like a business level there with Capcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
But yeah,
perfect.
the booth.
Perfect size.
Thank you. The booth was super impressive. Like you say, they pulled out all the stops. I feel like it was probably one of the biggest booths out of all the halls that I saw. It certainly had the biggest lines out of pretty much all of the booths. And there was I think there was 30 playable demos with like Quest 1, Quest 2, which was like the single player one and the multiplayer one. Did you get much time in the demos? Because we did have to queue. And those queues were brutal, and in a lot of the cases, you weren't getting in, even if you were in the queue. So how was it for you?
Because I did not queue at all. Like the first day we were just at the business area. We didn't really have time to stand in line at the stage. And the second day I was on the stage and the stream and everything, so I didn't end up standing in line. But because there were some tech issues on day one, which we helped to fix. I don't know if that helped also you guys, but at the beginning there was no audio on the recordings, and we helped fix that issue. So then all the creators had audio on it.
Oh, did you use their capture cards that
Yeah.
they had? So yeah, we brought our own. We were told to bring our own, and we got there and they're like, oh, we do have them.
Same.
I was like, oh, I'll just use our own. Like we already brought them.
Right. Yeah, but even if you use your own, the way the setup was made, you didn't have audio on your.
You must have
okay.
fixed it for us because we were pretty early on we were like an 11 a.m. Were you like a 9 a.m. or something? Because we were 11 and it was working.
On which day?
The Wednesday, the first.
The first
day.
the first day.
It was working. So maybe it was only working in the room where the English PlayStations were set up, because in the Germans one didn't work.
Oh no, that's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, because of this, we were able to record again. So that's why I got to play twice. And then, so it's like 2 hours. And then if you combine with stage and the stream, it's like close to 4 hours that I got to play. So yeah, it was fun. The gameplay is
That's pretty
great,
cool because
man.
that's like a different gameplay experience that you got. I mean, I guess like we were in the thick of it in the queues. We did get we did get a couple fast passes in the end. So we did get to play, I think, the demo like three times or 4, including the
Oh, really?
recording. But we did play mostly that single player one just because that was the shorter queue a lot of the time. Even though the Doshiguma one was where you really wanted to be because it was a bit longer, a bit better open world sort of segment to experience. I want to quickly go over sort of expectations of Monster Hunter Wilds before Gamescom and actually playing it, and now having actually played it, and what the differences are in expectations. I'll just say to begin with, I kind of was like not too sure what to expect and a bit cautious. Obviously, it looked more world-esque from the way that they were describing it in the sort of press release stuff and from the videos we saw. But then the weapon previews came out, and you were definitely seeing a lot of like silkbind attacks and switch skills being incorporated into things. So I was going into it initially thinking it's going to be very world-like, but then we had the weapon previews and it was like, oh, it looks like a combination. So it was all kind of up in the air. But then after playing it, it definitely, to me, feels it is a combination of the two, but it is still leaning more on world. And we were hyped, obviously, to play it. I feel like I've walked away more hyped, if that makes sense. So what did you think?
So I think visually it looks like a very polished Rise to me. Because I mean it's the same engine, right? So there are some
Yeah.
similarities, but in terms of, you know, you can still tell that the guys who made the game are the same guys who made World in a way.
Yeah,
Where-
definitely.
With the UI, you can easily see it's like has not much to do with the way Rise was, and also I mean animations, and just feels very, very good. And for me, it's more World-like, but the engine reminds me of Rise more.
Definitely. For me, you know what? We started like prepping for this by like playing World, and I went back to my PlayStation and I booted out the PlayStation 4 version, and stepping onto actual World again, you can feel it's a bit sluggish, you know. Right, Wild doesn't have any of like that kind of delay and walking around and all of that stuff. It feels way more responsive than Wilds, and I don't think many people would have picked up on that because they would have come from like the PC version or whatever. But Wilds is like really good. So as much as people are saying the performance on this early build isn't that great and there's like frame issues and all of that stuff, the actual responsiveness of the actual controls felt like actually stupidly good. Like I didn't feel like it felt 1-to-1. It didn't feel like super sluggish like World did.
Yeah,
True.
I'll say as well. Oh, no, go on, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt, even though it was 30 FPS, it felt kind of smooth, weirdly.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that they still have to improve until a full game comes out. But I mean, they have like 6 months or so. So the textures and stuff like that will surely improve. Sometimes it was a bit blurry in the background too. I wonder if they're gonna fix that, probably. But other than that, yeah, it felt smooth for sure.
Yeah. I'll say as well, it's coming out on like all platforms simultaneously. So I guess the people that really are upset about any variability or FPS issues, you've got PC as the option this time around. It was, that wasn't the option when World launched. You were PlayStation or you weren't playing it. But touching on like the technical side of the demo, it's not the full game. These pre-builds or demo floor builds, they always have kinks that need to be ironed out. Like I'm sure Chris is used to it. I think most content creators are used to like these different preview builds being pretty rough usually, especially like from a technical side of like with the FPS or that kind of thing. And on top of that, it was hot at Germany. Like there was one day, I think it was the Saturday, it was getting to like 32 degrees Celsius. At least that's what my phone was saying. This is a big pool with thousands of people in it, with PlayStations locked in a box with like hot weather. And we actually overheard that some of them were left on overnight as well. So
What?
So I think it's no wonder that your PlayStation overheats and crashes in these kind of conditions. So I think that,
I didn't know you guys stayed for so long, because by Saturday, Mitch and I were already home. Like, we went home on Friday.
Yeah,
So-
we
You were out.
were returning on Saturday, yeah, but that was the peak of the week, which is why I point out, because
Yeah.
that's like 32 degrees, and then we get back to the UK and it's like 13 degrees. It's like, oh, back home.
I just want to say what you said before with the early builds of these games is in 2017. I remember when I played the early build for World base game. It was in 2017, and this was already really solid. I remember it was on PlayStation 4 Pro back then as well, so PlayStation as well, and it ran really in 4K 30, and there at least was not much of a difference between the performance, at least from what I remember, between the demo we played and the actual release.
Yeah.
And that was a couple months before release.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. So sometimes it goes the other way as well. Like as you're saying, there is a drastic difference between the one that you play on the show floor and the actual final build. But historically, for the Monster Hunter games, it's been very
Little
accurate.
change.
So, yeah, a little change to what you actually get. But I'm hoping there's enough noise this time of people complaining, and they actually do change that stuff. But I feel also that this build wasn't necessarily as representative because it was crashing a lot for people, so I don't suspect that it was a stable build. And they are trying to be a lot more ambitious with this one in terms of making it a broader, open, kind of seamless world. So I suspect that there are more changes than
Yeah, I mean,
usual.
the crashes at least, or
Yeah.
the glitch we've seen with Balahara in the sand, they're going to fix that 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more so about, are they actually going to up it to 60 FPS? Not so sure. Are they actually going to up it to really 4K? Because I don't know if you guys noticed, the recordings we did, if you analyze that, the UI was fully run in 4K. It was full 4K, but the game was in 1080p.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see, but I don't know if they're going to make this.
Personally, I don't really worry about that. As Paradise says, if it's on PC, I'm going to be playing on like some fatty PC with high settings, so it's not really too much of a problem. But I can understand for people that are running on console that they will have that concern.
Absolutely.
Too much, but
especially
me,
PS5 is a great console, and like, if I was playing on PS5, I would be a bit concerned if the game would run in 1080p 30.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about like ray tracing. We're not talking about, Unreal Engine 5 and that kind of stuff where it's understandable that takes a lot of performance. Yeah, but
I will say as well, like, there's certain parts of it did, like you say, feel smooth, but I did feel like other parts did feel quite variable. So they're all valid concerns. That being said, hey, I'm going on PC if it's launching on PC.
yeah.
Jump into gameplay real quick though. So you got to play a good few hours across different things with what you were doing on stage and all that. What weapons did you get to try out?
Really just 2 weapons, longsword and CB.
I like it. I love a bit of charge blade. 2.6 loves a bit of longsword.
Which one did you like better?
Yeah.
Which one did you like?
I mean, I'm way more comfortable with CB. Literally, like 2 days before Gamescom, I had to figure out which buttons to press for Helmbreaker, and so I went into this like pretty noob level with longsword. But I guess I still can like understand that longsword has a lot of new stuff. It plays very differently. There's so much more mobility and combo options that you have, which I'm very curious to see, high-level gameplay once the game comes out. But I have to say, they did bring in a few features from Rise. For example, when you hit the Yai Spirit Slash, you can level up at one gauge. So I have a feeling if you see high-level play, it might go into the same direction that Rise has gone to, which is like Yai Spirit Slash Handbreaker, Yai Spirit Slash Handbreaker. You kind of like spam that in a way, which I hope not. But
now we have another option on longsword. There is actually something called a spirit charge. So if you hold down the spirit blade or the spirit like slash attack, it actually charges it, and it does like a little thing. And if you charge that to max, you actually go straight into round slash. So you can cancel that after a Helmbreaker and go straight into like a level 3 slash and get your bar back. So the actual cycle at high level is probably going to be even shorter and wilder.
So you don't think Yai Spirit Slash is going to be used
I think it's going to be a mix of both. I think you're going to be doing a bit of both to kind of really build your gauge, and you're going to choose it based on your circumstances that you want to go into, because the charge spirit also has like no knockback on it as well if you charge it to the maximum level.
And what do you think about the finisher after the Helmbreaker?
So it's so cool. It's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, and then you lose one more gauge, right? So you're back to white.
Yeah, exactly. So that's maybe why they've added in 2 options for you. So maybe you can go into the Spirit Charge and then maybe any Eye Slash after that to see how it like really like pans out. But you can use the Spirit Charge to even cancel loads of different things. I kind of happenstancely did it in my gameplay for like half a second, but more people found out about it as Gamescom went on. Maybe we should have done our recording session on day one, but it's nice seeing like people like Dare Gamer really get into it and see what's the nitty gritty behind all of it and stuff. So it's really cool.
What do you guys think of the Crimson Slash combo, which is only when you're in red gauge? Because it seems like there's a lot of new things to do with staying in red, not necessarily spamming Helmbreaker. Do we think we're going to want to be doing Spirit Crimson Slash combos, or are we going to just want to still spam Helmbreaker? Like, what are you guys thinking?
It really depends on the damage numbers for what Crimson Slash is. I haven't looked at the damage numbers to know if it's doing more than Helmbreaker, but the fact that Helmbreaker does so much burst damage, and is in such a short period, Helmbreaker's probably going to win out. But the other thing that also changes in red is like your Foresight Slash as well. So if you're in red and you do the Foresight Slash, you actually get a jump back slash on it as well, which is
looks so cool.
Stupidly cool. So you can just be flexing on the haters with the longsword, which there are a lot of people that hate the longsword because it is OP.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the mobility that you have with what's the combo called the spirit combo? The mobility where you can move left and right?
Yeah,
really?
really good for repositioning, but I was watching somebody else's video and they were saying that they were having problems with like some of the positioning in Wild. So maybe when it just comes down to that, it's going to be really good, especially compared when you've got like the focus slash to kind of point you in a direction as well. So it's going to give us some options to hit the monster better and not be wailing in the air. Like in my longsword demonstration video, that was like literally the second time I played and people were like, this guy's whiffing.
Have you seen when you do the focus mode slash that you can level up 2 gauges at once?
Yeah, so that is actually based on the amount of wounds that you actually hit and pop. So each one will give you a level, so you can maybe even just go up to 3 levels of gauge basically right off the bat.
So this way you can get back to red very quickly after using the second finisher after the Helmbreaker, right?
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be you're back into Helmbreaker, just having fun, just destroying monsters. It's going to be a fun time for like all longsword players out there.
Yeah, I'm getting a vision right now of the future, which is even more longsword hate when the game comes out, because it's just so much. It looks so good. They've just improved every aspect of it. At least from it was a demo build. Things might change. Who knows everything, but it does look like longsword is looking particularly spicy. But it's not the only weapon looking spicy though. So you got to play some Charge Blade as well, Chris, and you're more familiar with Charge Blade. We were talking ever so briefly about it just before we started the discussion. Give me the lowdown of what you think about Charge Blade, the sort of differences, like what's going on.
I just finished making a full breakdown, a video about Charge Blade, so it's really, really interesting. So Savage Axe is like the most interesting new thing, I would say. It's worked completely differently compared to Iceborne, right? And this time it preserves your files. So what I'm really looking forward to in Wilds is being able to just, round slashes, the using my files left and right, AED, bam, bam, bam. Then you have the AED follow-up, and you can use all of that and just consume like half a file most of the time. You have way less file consumption than in the past, so less recharging manually and more swinging, and that's what I'm really excited about. On top of that, you guys have showed that really nicely in your gameplay already. You can stack files now, so with stacked files, it looks like the file consumption is even lower. You don't even lose any files when going into an AED, and the AED follow-up, which you haven't shown in your gameplay, probably also won't consume any files at all. So that's crazy, really. And I'm looking forward to the four player speed runs that we might be able to do there.
The classic. I'm super excited to see them. And also we haven't seen all the monsters yet. I expect there'll be some crazy monsters, so I'm excited to see you guys do your insane synchronized runs, whether it's with the Charge Blade or the bow guns or whatever it is. But speaking of the Savage Axe mode, so we know, or like Power Axe mode, like I don't know how people prefer to refer to it as, because I was playing some Iceborne in preparation, and Iceborne works different with Savage Axe compared to like Sunbreak as well. I believe in Iceborne, you just like swing the axe like you normally would, and you get the extra tick damage as it goes down. I believe in Sunbreak, tell me if I'm wrong here, you kind of like hold the input and you do like a little chainsaw and stop, and then you hold the input, a little chainsaw and stop. It felt like to me, and I didn't get as much hands-on as I would have liked, so I haven't fully tested this, but I did try the hold and the tap, and I wasn't seeing any way to get the extra like chainsaw hits on regular attacks. Other people were saying you need to like super mash it, like I think there was one comment saying that. I don't know I didn't experience that. So I'm not. So I don't think. I think we're agreeing here. Then there wasn't like the normal Savage Axe mode in your attacks, outside of like the pizza cutter focus strike.
Yeah. So Savage Axe really doesn't seem to do all too much except preserve your files. You activate Savage Axe by doing normally it's like using the wound attack, an attack on a wound, then you morph into the spinning slash, and that means you activate your Savage Axe, your icon and the UI will start to glow, and then you can, for the next 2 minutes, by the way it's active for 2 minutes, you will be able to have lower file consumption than you would normally have. But other than that, it doesn't do any extra damage from what it looks like. It doesn't give you any other moves, or it doesn't give this insane hit lag that we've seen in Rise. And I also tried to hold down the buttons, and it really didn't do any of that we've seen in Rise. So probably that feature is gone, but
Yeah, I believe as well. There's a certain guard point that you can hit that allows you to power axe charge as well. So
yeah,
the focus strike definitely is the easiest way to do it. And to be honest, the
Yeah.
wounds seemed pretty consistent to get up, so it was really never a problem.
yeah.
But you do have that guard point there if the wounds aren't available. Also, there's
Yeah.
a bit of like up in the air about wounds in terms of like the multiplayer side of things, because I was really trying to pay attention to this, and I'm still not sure how it works exactly, but I think wounds are somewhat localized even in multiplayer, but also I still don't know, because I've definitely seen someone do a wound attack, pop a load of wounds, and then another player still has a wound, but then other players don't have the wound there. So I'm still not sure how it works exactly in multiplayer. So it's going to be interesting to see how that actually like plays out. I don't know if you had any more insight on that from seeing like multiplayer sort of hunts on
Unfortunately,
the demo.
not. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some connection issues or whatnot, but yeah, it would be great if they can sync it up, because that would be a bit weird.
Yeah.
But
So did you mostly play the Alpha Doshiguma demo version across your gameplay? Like I'm sure that's what you were playing on the stage, right?
yeah, but then we had, the free roaming monsters that we could also go after. So I actually I got some corrupted footage that's gone, where I also hunted Raydal. So the hardest monster, the footage is gone. I'm sorry, guys.
The same thing happened to Didn't the same thing happen to Rage as well? What's up with the Raydal fight and corrupting everyone's footage? That's crazy.
Man.
Maybe that's the real power of the monster. He's like, you ain't capturing me.
Yeah,
It's too powerful.
new
Too
element,
powerful.
hacking monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to
no,
fight the Balahara? You definitely fought the Chatakabra, but did you get to fight the Balahara a bit as well?
Yeah, a little bit. It was really rough for me because both longsword and CB are very counter-heavy weapons, and I was constantly initiating the foresight slashers or the guard points too soon because I was expecting the monster to attack faster with the wind-up, but then I did it, and then whoops, I got hit. So it was like terrible. I had terrible gameplay. But Balahara seems fun. I mean, what I really liked a lot was when Balahara was making this how do you say, quicksand, this big hole in the sand, or also Chatakabra with like these attacks with saliva. So you had like saliva, you had it made the ground wet, and then the sand deformed and it kind of changed the environments. I really love that. I think that's fantastic that Capcom was playing more with destructible environments. That's kind of the things I like most. I really love the map, 3D map. These were my favorite things. And what were you guys' favorite things after playing?
I mean, I don't know if this is like boring answer, but it's the new additions to the weapons. Like I love fighting a new monster. I love checking out the armor sets and the new cooking system and the camping system and all that. But ultimately, like the favorite has to be like the new things on the weapons. Maybe even the new things that weren't in those weapon previews, which I think we all kind of, as we got to the end of the weapon previews, we all kind of knew there's definitely more because they were showing things that didn't line up to it being everything. Do you know what I mean? Like little snippets of stuff. So we knew that there was going to be some extra things, but it was really cool to see the extent of those on like some weapons. Like for example, the switch axe, which has the full release after the element discharge, which was just super cool, which is basically like the elemental burst counter without the counter.
I saw on Twitter you guys made such a dope looking clip. They got like really viral on Twitter. But you know what? The guy didn't even credit you guys, right?
Did you not? I don't know. We've seen so many clips, but we are not allowed because of the embargo. Like everybody else is just making all the videos on our videos, and we don't care. We're just like, make the videos.
Yeah.
It's out there. Get excited for Monster Hunter. It is what it is.
I really appreciate that both of you guys came out to
Yeah.
Gamescom. It's really cool that you guys did that.
Definitely.
What was
Yeah,
your
it's crazy
favorite?
Go on.
What was your favorite, Chris?
My favorite, monster?
Just thing,
Or
just
feature?
feature thing, anything in the game. Yeah.
I really love the destructible environments, and I really love the 3D map. I think that's so cool, the way they implemented that, and also the way the mount is moving sometimes automatically if you set a waypoint somewhere. So if anyone gets like completely confused on an ancient forest kind of map, you can just, put your waypoint on a monster that you see somewhere, and then the thing just goes there automatically. So I think Capcom really innovates, like brings a lot of innovation to their games, and I appreciate it a lot. Even though I don't like always all of the new features, for example, I didn't like the new sharpness bar. In case you guys have noticed, I found that a bit
different, and the health bar as well with the super wavy.
That was I like the wavy design, but I think they overdid it a bit. I think it's just a bit too much. If it was like a little bit like in motion, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to the static UI in World or Rise. But the way it wiggles, especially if you're low on health, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I didn't actually know until a dev live stream, but the actual UI will like wiggle and go red in anticipation of an attack coming your way as well. So I guess on one hand it's really visual, like an attack is coming your way because it's quite distracting, but on the other hand it's distracting and you're trying to dodge an incoming attack, so it's a pretty interesting thing. 26, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Chris, like, how do you feel about Wilds as a content creator heading into this one compared to how like you felt about like Rise or World or whatever? Because obviously World, we're like, it's another Monster Hunter game, and kind of knew that it was going to be big, but we didn't know it was going to be big. Rise came out in the middle of like stuff happening in the world, and now we're heading into like Wilds, which is a game that a load of people are anticipating because it looks closer to World, which was like a huge success. Like, how do you feel like it's going to be for things and the ecosystem of Monster Hunter in general?
Oh, that's such a difficult question to answer. I mean, there's so much that goes into the Monster Hunter games as a Monster Hunter creator. I mean, of course, the hype is going to be huge, probably. Capcom already expects the hype to be insane, and it's since World we have the global releases, so that's of course one of the big changes since World already. That luckily all of the Japanese creators don't get like 1 year head start anymore, which I really appreciate. Gaijin Hunter was like the lucky boy. He could always understand all the tiny little details. And we were like, can somebody translate, please? But other than that, I think, we all can now record much more easily. It's coming out on the PC already, so I really appreciate being able to use Shadowplay instead of recording on the PlayStations or using a capture card. So it's going to be easier for many people to make videos, I think. And other than that, I just really hope that all of my team members are really motivated, because so many of us already are doing YouTube for such a long time, or playing Monster Hunter for such a long time, or making videos, and sometimes it can get quite draining, if you cannot get the breaks from a game that you would like to have. I mean, you guys feature different games, so that it's probably a bit different for you guys.
It's an infinite treadmill, so you're never stopping. It's this twofold thing for me, though. I won't speak. I'll let 26 speak for him, but I'm like just a proper gamer. I'm playing these games anyway as they're coming out. So on one hand, like I'm playing the game anyway into into late hours. Maybe it's not the most healthy thing to do, but that's what I enjoy. So it's not like playing a game you don't like is obviously going to be way more draining. So that's where it becomes a thing where you've got to like cover things you enjoy. So when we're playing a game and loving it, the videos come hand in hand and the guides go hand in hand, and it's all a great time all around. You're having fun, videos doing well, everyone's happy.
You guys are so good at like jumping from one game to another and being able to cover it in a nice way. For us, it's really hard because our niche, like what we're doing, is like very specific stuff that people watch us because we're very good at what we're doing in a very special hardcore kind of way. And you can't just do that in like a new game instantly. Like you have to first of all start playing, you have to get familiar with it, you have to understand how the game works, and only then you can make the kind of content that we are usually making. So I was getting into Elden Ring was really rough for me to make videos or something like that. And like Wukong, I really wanted to try this out. It came out right on the day we left for Gamescom. Like what the frick, man? Such bad timing. Once I'm finished with my Wilds coverage, I'll check out that game for sure. What about you guys? Do you want to play Wukong as well?
I 100% want to play Wukong. That's a game that we've been covering for like 2 to 3 years, and it ended up landing on Gamescom for Monster Hunter World. So it was like the most upsetting situation to see a game that you really wanted to play, and it landed on that day. But I'll definitely be giving it a go. I don't know when I'll be able to play it because we don't necessarily have time now. There's so much content to get through at the moment, which is kind of like a catch-22 of being a content creator. You get access to all these games, but not necessarily all the time in the world to play all of them. But it's definitely something that I am furiously anticipating playing. So yeah, definitely after coming off the Elden Ring and all of that stuff as well.
Yeah, Shadow of the Erdtree was pretty mad. Like that first few hours in the expansion when you didn't have anything, that was pretty mad. But then after that, I thought the expansion was like really good and pretty cool. Perhaps not. I don't know. Like depending on how you play, there is tons of hours there in Shadow of the Erdtree. But in terms of like main story bosses, there was only a handful. So you could play it and if you had the knowledge of where to go, you could probably do that DLC very quickly. But without that knowledge and playing a bit more like of the exploration side of like things, you could sink in like 10s, 50, 60 plus hours like quite easily. So that was a pretty like mad DLC. Do you play many like FPS games or like are you purely like action RPG like?
Yeah, not recently. In the past, I played a lot of Battlefield 3. I played Battlefield 4 a lot too. But I think it was really when I got into Monster Hunter as a content creator that I kind of stopped playing these games because, well, it was just always YouTube, and that was always Monster Hunter, right? So that's why since then I haven't really played shooters. But you guys do right every once in a while, huh?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I would say FPS probably like one of my favorite genres. It's not a primary game that we cover on the channel, but if there's I'm playing every FPS that there is, you know, outside of all the other things that we do. So like more recently, we don't know how it will turn out in release, so I'm not gonna endorse it just yet because it is like in alpha right now. It's going to be a free to play one, so I'm not sure how it will be. We'll have to wait and see. But Delta Force has been pretty fun actually. It basically has like a battlefield mode where it's like big large scale maps, points, vehicles. Then it has the extraction mode, which is like Escape from Tarkov style, but with like way more quality of life, like all the quality of life you would want. You can preset your loadouts. There's the auction house, all of this. There's different like difficulties where you load in with different like prices of your kit, so you can go in against players that are like gonna be kitted out, but it means you're gonna get like more stuff off of them when you take them down. And that game's also gonna have a campaign as well, so I don't know how it's gonna work in terms of monetization if it's free to play, so that's my worry. But from playing some of the alpha, it's fun in the alpha. I'll give it that.
Nice.
We have talked about some of our highlights. Oh, sorry, do you want to say?
Yeah, I think that's something that people don't necessarily understand about us as gamers and the way that we cover stuff on channel. They think that we might be hopping from like trend to trend, but we actually just play all these games, like any genre aside from maybe sports games and like FIFA and stuff. Like these are games that we're playing. Like anything that's on the horizon that looks cool to them in a trailer probably looks cool to us, and we're probably gonna play it. Like even if it's a game that's like more Life is Strange-esque or whatever, that might be of interest to me and I'll play that. But I like to play like racing games and Forza. That's something that has been part of like my career the whole time.
Oh, are you playing Forza Horizon 5?
Yeah, I play Forza Horizon 5, Forza like Motorsport, the new one, and all of that stuff. Like Gran Turismo, that is something that I play in my off time because I have that interest in those games as well.
Oh, amazing. You might like... Oh, man, I've never really talked about this in public before, but we are working on like our biggest video yet. I mean, one of the reasons why we haven't uploaded in 6 months almost, like, or barely anything in 6 months, is because Michi and I are working on like the biggest video we've ever made. We were on this for 6 months already, and it's gonna be a speed comparison of all of the monsters in the world, and we are using Forza 5 in that video. So 2-6, I'm just saying you might like that video.
I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. Now Forza 5 is a great game and it looks gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Definitely.
That's a good example of like there's games that we play sometimes that just don't work for. I'm sure you, like you said, you have you're the niche that you're in, right? And even us as a multi like game channel, there's still certain games that just aren't really super viable. So although we'll try and cover everything that interests us, sometimes we're just playing a game and enjoying it, but maybe either we can't cover it or it just doesn't make sense to cover it. So there's more games that we probably wish we could put out, like you say there with the race ones. The sports games we're not big into is the only one.
One thing I wanted to tell you guys, or also ask you guys, like since Arekkz left, I have to say I'm really like impressed by how much content you guys are putting out there.
Let's
Jeez.
go! You go!
we got the TDS Chris seal of approval.
Yo, no, honestly, yeah. I mean, if you look at how much you guys are uploading, I mean, you can barely even tell that Arekkz is gone. Of course, if you look at the videos, he's missing, right? But
Yeah.
wow, I'm actually happy you guys managed
Yeah.
so well, so quickly to find yourself in this new situation.
Yeah, that was one of like the most scary things, obviously, if a face of the channel's moving and like moving on and going on to new things. Like, I have like complete faith in what he did was the right thing for him. Like, he was fully burnt out, and people still don't understand that to this day. They're still asking for him to like come back, and he was like doesn't want to play games. We literally saw him at Gamescom. I don't know what he said to you, but he was like, he's really enjoying his job now, and he's really enjoying the pace of things and stuff like that.
No, but
right?
Ryozo really wanted him to try out Wilds.
So Ryozo's just like, you got to play my game one more time. He did jump on that and he enjoyed it. But like, yeah, that transition from the face of the channel leaving, it was always a team, by the way. So some people just don't understand that. It was always a team, and there was always people putting in the work and making the weapon workshop, like tutorials and stuff like that. The longsword one was done, like most of the information came from me. And for the other weapons, we had individual team members like work on those individual weapons alongside Arekkz to finally get the final thing out. But that transition over, we were just like, we're going to try and make up the quality of the videos, cover things more in depth, increase the length of the actual videos as well, and give people exactly what they want as much as possible. So hopefully they don't complain that Arekkz is gone, because the videos are just good enough that they're getting exactly what they want. And hopefully I think that's kind of worked out, and people are excited to watch the content and stuff. So yeah,
Absolutely. Excited for your Wilds coverage, guys. Really excited.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Nice. Yeah, it's I'll touch on that a bit as well. It is obviously scary, and Arekkz has a lot of experience with like presenting the videos and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'd been doing videos for about 6 years on the channel, whether it was edits and occasionally VOing as well. And people didn't seem to mind, like, when I would VO it. Obviously, with the edits, people can't really tell, because if it's Arekkz voicing it, it's like the same experience. So I think it was an unknown, but there was like hope that hopefully like people won't mind, because we've been doing it for years anyway. It's just one different voice, you could say. But yeah, I'm really glad to have your approval on it as well, because that means a lot, because obviously we love what you do and your videos and stuff. So and it's also awesome to see you sort of, because you've spread into other like regions as well, right, or other platforms. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think you guys, I'm not, it's like completely different regions, like YouTube equivalents and stuff, right? So you guys are really out there.
I mean, something like this would be really difficult for you guys, because every single, or almost every single one of your videos is voiced. The fact that kind of like 25% of our videos are voiced, probably even less, makes it way easier to translate the content for other languages. Speedruns especially, it's very easy to just translate a title and put it somewhere else where people don't speak English. And yeah, if you know that in China they don't have access to YouTube, so they're watching on Bilibili. And this is where we started uploading in 2019. Like, it was in 2018 or 19, I saw some comments of people a few times asking, can I upload your video on Bilibili? And I was like, what is Bilibili? It sounded so funny to me, and I looked it up, and oh wow, it's a video platform. And then I checked, and random people were uploading our videos there, and they had tons of views. And I was like, what's going on, dude? And then I ended up finding an amazing team of Chinese-speaking TDS members who are now helping, especially Luigi. He does most of the work, translating all our videos and uploading it to our official Bilibili platform. And we have like almost 300k subscribers there as well now, so that's super cool. And then we do the Japanese translations, and that's it for the most part. I want to get into the Spanish translations. I have learned Spanish in the last 2 years, but hola vamos a ver. I'm not sure yet if I'll do that, because that takes a lot of time. So, but that's something I'd be really actually excited about trying out. But have you guys ever considered consider doing like some other translations to your content?
Definitely be open to it, but it's just like actually starting to do that, because there's no reason not to, right? You've already made the content, you just need a process to kind of get it out onto the other platforms and stuff like that. But it's just if there's like the demand for it in those situations. Obviously maybe the weapon tutorials might benefit from that the most, but other than that, because of the amount of videos that we put out, and not having the process, it's kind of going to be hard for us. And as you're saying, like, it's fully voiced, so it's going to be a lot of work and finding that. But people have been like, "I will translate your videos for you." But
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are the two main issues, right? If you upload a ton, like you guys do, and if most of the videos are voiced. So, and this is what makes it less efficient, what makes it make less sense. And if you guys had more non-voiced content, it would be more of a no-brainer to just do it.
Yeah.
Especially with YouTube and the nice features YouTube has nowadays. You can now even upload different soundtracks to your video, like Mr. Beast does.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, and it's something I really want to try out soon.
Yeah. Something that we have been doing is TikTok, though. Not many people know that we have a fatty TikTok where we upload like videos, and we can kind of be more broad about the games that we cover as well, because I feel like on here we have some hardcore gamers, and if we upload something like that's a cozy game, they'll be like, "What are you doing? You have sullied the brand of Arekkz Gaming." So on there we can talk about like, I don't know, Hello Kitty Online, and people are like, "Okay, this game looks cool," but on here it's like,
cool. How's it going for you guys on TikTok? It's
really cool.
I love it. Like, I love making TikToks. Like, it's a totally different style of content. It's super like way shorter, but you can like be really a lot more creative with them. So you could like do totally like off the wall ideas, or you could come up with some new formats that work in the sort of mobile, you know, the mobile frame. Like you say, cover all kinds of games. There's like we said, we're playing a lot of these games. We're looking at games all the time, but not all of them make sense on like our YouTube. But on TikTok, it's kind of like anything goes. People like, there's a game for everyone on TikTok. You know what I mean? So I love it. It's a totally like freeing experience to make a video for TikTok, because it's just faster, more creative. I wouldn't say less time investment, because you still have to like either play a game or research a game and all that kind of stuff, but it's just more enjoyable to make, and because it's shorter, you can do more in the edit, so you can be more snappy. So you're not, rather than spreading your time across like an 8 to 20 minute video, you're putting all your time into like a 60-second video, so you can really like go ham.
But you cannot monetize it as well, right? So
you can monetize it. After you get to a certain size, you can basically get monetized, and it's over 60-second videos. The problem is not everything makes sense to do over 60 seconds, and the CPM is it's pretty bad. So it's the monetization isn't great on there, but it's more for like the reach and like if you know, and just covering. It's like another source of viewers and a different kind of audience, you know.
Well, if you compare it to YouTube Shorts, how is the difference in terms of performance, views, or monetization for you guys?
Monetization definitely work. Like, don't rely on TikTok monetization. That would be my takeaway. I think discovery's better on TikTok there. So we did have a YouTube Shorts, like pure YouTube Shorts channel that we were building, which we did get to about 30k subscribers, and it was just Shorts. But we're just doing so much stuff that, like, you know, we're putting out, like, we're doing like 2 main channel videos, then we're doing like 2 TikToks in a day, and we're uploading on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and we got like the emails going on, and you know, we have like projects going on all the time usually. So
that's rough.
At a certain point, you have to say like, all right, maybe we're gonna bench this channel. So the Shorts channel has been benched on YouTube, but on TikTok we've kept it going, which has been pretty good to see. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I just want to say, so we've already gone longer than I thought I would, which I love. But I want to go over a highlight of everyone, not just for Monster Hunter, but for Gamescom, the whole experience, what the highlight was. So for me, it was sort of the engaging with the community, meeting people at the booth, as well as other creators. So hanging out with like Rurikan, obviously Jono, community manager, bumping into. You just had him on your podcast as well. He was like Punk.
Punk Duck.
Punk Duck.
Yeah, he's super cool.
He's super nice
guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, hanging out with Punk Duck and just everyone else. And also we had Rurokan join us for our like stream in the booth as well, which was like just like the banter going around was just great.
That's
So
cool,
for me, it was that community feel that Chris, you'll know, like you do YouTube, you're in your like room or your house. It's all like the numbers and the online stuff. You don't really get that tangible physical community that until you're there, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, that was amazing. My favorite thing was inside the Capcom business area, the bar with the drinks. No, I'm just kidding. It was the food and drinks was amazing there, but yeah, it was just the best thing ever was to meet the devs, well, of course, Ryozo, Fujioka, and Tokuda, and then also some other guys from the Capcom crew. They were all super nice. Meeting the CMs for their first time. We have so many new CMs, and I have not met any of them in person. I believe it's the same for you guys. Maybe you've seen Jono before, I believe, but
yeah.
For the most part, many of the CMs are very new, so it was super nice to say hi to them, as well as everyone else from the community. All the people that came and said hi. A few of them wanted to take pictures. It was really, really nice. And of course, the other creators. Sadly, I missed you guys, but next time we'll make it. We'll make it work.
Definitely.
I won't forgive you.
Well, no.
Next time.
Next time, Punktak and I will be hunting you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's definitely a highlight. It's obviously meeting people, but so nervous about going on to that like stream after not streaming for ages, because that's one of the things that we used to do. Me and Paradise used to stream as well, and going in, the community was so welcoming to us being streaming, just so excited for us streaming as well. And we got to fully interact with the people when we were streaming. We were asking them questions, they were asking us questions and asking us to do things, and we did the things. And John August came on there, beasted with the Sword and Shield. Huracan was giving all of his knowledge about the gun lance. Paradise was doing a good job. I was there just trying to like survive, but it was all good. It was all good.
That was so amazing, you guys. Honestly, good job that you guys actually went, 4 of you guys in that streaming room, because that's one of the things in hindsight that I kind of regret. I should have pushed more to try to get that English stream to work. And then also maybe have somebody like you guys or me sitting on the side, so it's like a bit more of a nice conversation, because I was so focused on the gameplay, and you know,
it's hard, man, especially when you're playing a new game. Like, people don't understand that. Like, you're focused on the game, you're trying to get that information there and retain what's going on, and not look absolutely like a noob when you're actually playing, which can be all too easy if you're not familiar with the game. So yeah, it's cool.
That's the thing, like, people expect you to go in and get some like god mode speedrunner tier gameplay when you have almost no time on, or in many cases no time before you hit the record button, so you're going in blind. And also, like, these are not ideal environments to be playing at your optimal form. The loud hall, audio issues potentially, whatever else is going on. It's a hot day, you know, you're tired, you're jet lagged from a flight or whatever it may be. So people seem to have their expectations like way up here.
And that's true. And if you knew how many times speedrunners reset until they get what they upload at the end of the day, bro. Yeah. Nobody can see, so nobody can see.
Right. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to say real quick, Chris, thank you so much for joining us on this discussion.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
If anyone, for some reason, hasn't found Chris's channel yet, we'll link it down below. You got a Charge Play video that I think you just put out, so definitely go check that out. I'm sure I'm going to watch it just to familiarize myself again, because there was a lot going on with that Charge Blade. So definitely check out Chris. And again, thank you for joining us, Chris. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was fun. Super nice. Thank you.
And yeah, we're gonna have more Monster Hunter coming on the channel soon, guys, so keep your eyes peeled. There's a lot more stuff to go over, tons more things to talk about, even though we've already put quite a lot out there already. So make sure you're subscribed to see more. And that's it from us, so we'll see you guys next time.
Bye guys.